Terry's three. Johnny Walker. Matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score, they score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And buries the puck.
Daniels takes the shot for Kirby.
Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. So glad I could be here. So glad the internet finally cooperated. And I am here. I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 is where you can find me on Twitter as we get rolling here. Again, you can watch the show live also Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as you can check this out. Again, all the shows are there, but it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 on YouTube. Subscribe at MVC005 on YouTube. And again, apologies for the little bit of a late start, but yes, some internet maintenance was going on. So this time it was actually maintenance. And well, I say this time, but for me in general, it was maintenance going on. So, so that being said, though, glad I could be here and bring you this version of Pitchfork Lunch. Hockey had media day today, and I will get more on that later. Football out at practice today. Coach Dillingham had a lot to say, and obviously he did yesterday as well. So yes, we'll hear from Coach Dillingham and Trenton Bourget. Obviously, started the full game, played the full game at Cal. Played the full game at Cal. Again, got a little banged up, but was able to finish out the game. Tough 24-21 loss. Just in general. But that being said, they're back at it today. They're working hard. Yes, some guys are banged up. And we saw from the game, I mentioned Trey Brown didn't finish the game. See where he might be. But yeah, it's and issues in the punting game. But again, we'll hear from Coach Dillingham on that a little later. Volleyball, yes, getting set to play the LA schools, USC and UCLA are coming to town, and the 15-1 Sun Devils, yes, their only loss to Stanford, talked about it yesterday, but had a great 5-setter, came back with a 5-set victory over Cal. They did that, and then same thing for women's soccer in the Bay Area, losing to Stanford 2-1, tough game, and then ended up tying Cal in a 1-1 draw. And getting 1 point out of that. So, yes, we shall hit the standings and all that good stuff, too. I did mention yesterday at the end, I'll get into a little bit more, Coach Bowman, Bob Bowman, the swimming coach, inducted into the Swimming Hall of Fame. So that, very awesome. And, yes, he has been at ASU. God, I think this is his sixth season. I'll get the details, but with all the coaches and numbers, it's there. But that being said, again, congrats to him. Very well deserved. And yeah, people say, oh, Michael Phelps. Well, yes, they have to have a coach. Yes, you have to have talent. Yes, you have to understand what you're doing and have a, I guess, crazy, insane eating habit and work ethic. I mean, swimming is an insane beast in and of itself. And I can't wait to get, obviously, swimmers on the show as well, too, Coach Bowman. And it'll be absolutely awesome. So that being said, it's a great honor. And yes, Michael Phelps, all the gold medals, but he improved swimmers. And I know obviously Leon Marchand, definitely the talk of Sun Devil swimming, as he should be, face of the Olympics, swimming wise for France next year. He has that opportunity with what he has done. So again, working, yes, you have talented swimmers and you need to tweak, form in the water and just, doing it right, it becoming muscle memory, but just tweaking the smallest little thing, and I'm not being dramatic. It's the difference between a gold medal and a silver medal, which obviously nothing wrong with silver medal, but again, it can be that little tweak that makes a difference. So, to that extent, it's it's insane. You do have swimmers with success, and yes, not everybody won as many gold medals as Michael Phelps that he coached, but just working with and improving and growing. But yeah, it speaks for itself. So that is awesome. That is a great honor for him to have, and for Sun Devil Nation country to be a part of it. Very, very stoked about that. Soccer, and I was saying soccer too. They fell to Stanford. I mentioned they obviously had the 1-1 draw with Cal, got the point. And just, defensively, this team is just rocks. Absolute nails is this defense for Coach Winkworth. So, again, very stoked with their star too. Like I said, they're now 6-2-4 are the Sun Devil ladies soccer team. They only 2 losses. That I do know. 6-2-4, 2 losses, 4 draws. The Texas Tech and Stanford are their 2 losses. They had a 0-0 draw with Mississippi State, second game of the year. So, this team has not lost at home. They're 3-0-3. Away, they're 2-1-1. Neutral, they're 1-1. So, look very excited. And they have Washington. They have the Washington schools coming up Thursday. They have the Huskies at 7 p.m. local time. Sun Devil fans, come on, get out there, show a little support. And then Sunday at 12, they have Washington State. So that is where they are at. So, but yeah, big weekend here. And then when we look at the standings in the Pac-12 in soccer, conference-wise, Stanford, UCLA, and USC are all up top at 3-0, 3-0-0. Cal 2-0-1, obviously, with the draw against Arizona State. Colorado's 2-1. Utah and ASU are 1-1-1 in conference play. And then Arizona's 1-2. Oregon State's 0-2-1. Washington State, Washington, and Oregon are all 0-3. So dangerous Washington schools coming in here. And you're saying, Michael, dangerous. Why? Well, looking for your first win, and you're now in the third weekend of Pac-12 play. Yeah, it's dangerous. 2 schools looking for their first win. So they're going to have to be on it. Are the our Lady Sentinels. But defensively, again, we'll get to it more this week too. But defensively, they have been, like I said, absolute nails. The way they're playing out of the defense, the intensity. Coach Winkworth, I mean, even after the Cal game, he talked about it. So very exciting to see that. Football getting ready for Colorado. We'll get to that today as well. Football getting ready for Colorado as they lost to USC, got down huge, had a big comeback, did Colorado, and then ASU with Cal again fell a field goal short. Had the ball, was trying to drive, would have had to complete a 99-yard drive. Well, get a touchdown and win, what you want, or even just kick the field goal to force overtime. But just fell short. But got banged up, but competed. And we'll hear, like I said, from Coach Dillingham and from Trenton Bourget today at practice. So, but yeah, I mean, football, a lot of things right. Defensively, yeah, like I said, Trey Brown, the phenomenal transfer linebacker who's looked great. I mean, just getting, understanding more and more, looking more and more comfortable / dominant in Brian Ward's system, which, again, they said, oh, yeah, it's easy. But, I mean, it's complex what he wants to do. And, again, guys start going down and knock on wood on the offensive side, but defensive side, and then maybe you can't fully call all of what you want to call. Thoughts, always, think obviously watching the game, thinking defense, but same thing with offense. When you have injury, you can't, there are times that you can't maybe call certain things in your playbook just because of, how things are, with injuries, guys coming in, guys playing, different positions. And when it's on the O-line, I mean, like I said, building that chemistry up, there's, again, a lot of dominoes, a myriad of reasons, a lot of dominoes that fall. So, but from the defensive side for Coach Ward, you start having that, and that there's certain things you need to call. But you might have to simplify it a teeny bit. But I mean, D-line wise, like I said, they have just been absolutely balling out. And I mean, getting sacks. Yes, they still need that interception, but Coach Dillingham addresses that too about getting turnovers. But the pressure's there. You're seeing the growth, you're seeing the strides defensively. But to have somebody, if we'll see what happens with Trey Brown this week, and going forward. But just again, the effort, the drive, passion's there every day at practice. They're grinding, so you love to see that. So, yeah, we'll get into more of that. But like I said, a little swimming, a little volleyball, a little football. We'll get into all of it. We're going to step aside real quick here on Pitchfork Lunch. So, again, take a few bites, sip of your lunch, all that good stuff. We'll step aside, and then I'll be back, and we'll be talking a little more football here on Pitchfork Lunch. Oh, yes. Welcome back to Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratonito at Diablo00 on Twitter is where you can find me, see the show live. Facebook, also, like I said, YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. All of the shows are there. If you can't watch live and join me for lunch, yes, it's kind of a bummer, but subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will have it all. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 on YouTube, at MVC005. Subscribe. We will, again, I'll have it all there. Shows, obviously the interviews, the athletes, all the good stuff coming your way. So that being said, like I said, Kenny Dillingham spoke after practice today. And, well, as he does every day when we're out there, but oh, hold on, get there. But yeah, he, again, a lot to say about, again, practicing. He touched on it last week when I played it about what you can do, obviously, going forward. And, guys getting banged up, but guys are able to practice. How are you, challenging them and pushing them, but at the same time, keeping them kind of reeled in. It is a tough game. But today, I mean, just, talking about how, what the offense did and, with him calling plays and how that's going. But without further ado, here is Sun Devil head coach Kenny Dillingham.
Starts with, the standard you set. And I've been doing a bad job setting a standard of what the effort looks like. So the guys and the team is going to meet the standard you set and set a higher standard today, and I think they rose to it.
What things did you like in particular?
I like the burst and the trigger when the ball was caught or after the play to get lined up for the next play. Explosive plays, a lot of them are effort-based because you stop explosive plays on defense by chasing the ball and not getting cut off on the backside of plays, and the 18-yard play or a 50-yard play, 40-yard play turns into a 28-yard play, turns into a 20-yard play. Offensively, it's the reciprocal. And a lot of the times we're getting caught by the backside because pure effort. And that's on me as a coach to get our guys to give more effort. And I think today they did. And I think they're going to do exactly what we asked of them because they want it.
Offensive lineman Ben Coleman doing 2 reps today. It's been a long journey for him. How does he look?
Yeah, I mean, he's not cleared to participate in anything other than basically the walk-through setting or non-contact. So it's one of those, I don't foresee him getting cleared in time for contact for this season. But he is going to be able to move around with us a little bit. But the contact piece is something that I don't foresee him getting cleared for.
What sort of wrinkle does Gio Sanders in the backfield have for you?
Yeah, he played running back in high school, so he's kind of a running back for us. We handed him the ball, I think, the first time he was back there yesterday, and we're going to continue to hand him the ball. So that's just a wrinkle for us. We were banged up a little bit in the backfield. So just trying to create different personnel groupings to get our best players on the field.
Are you going to keep calling plays yourself?
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to jump in there real quick about, what you're saying about Gio right there. And I mean, just, a guy that is that flexible in a Kenny Dillingham offense, so I forgot to mention it last time, is very, very huge. So, and I like that because when you look at what he does, it's one of those things where it's sorry, when you look at, what he does, what he can do. Yeah, I mean, catching the ball is, again, it's having these weapons, creating mismatches, and he gets to that. But I love seeing, obviously, Gio back there. Same thing with Javen Jacobs. I mean, you have that hybrid player that, yes, was a running back, but, playing receiver. And I mean, even, doing it effectively. I talked about earlier in the season, but I wanted to stop it right there and bring that up because, again, that's one of those things where it makes it easier for all those other weapons I mentioned yesterday. But I just want to interject that real quick because I forgot, even when we talk about Javen Jacobs, I know I kind of mentioned it, but with Gio Sanders too. And I mean, you have a guy outside, that can go across the middle in Elijah Badger, in an Skillery. I mean, it's crazy. And Melquan Stovall, I mean, that young man returning punts, but I mean, the way he's been catching things too. So yeah, going off on a tangent, I just want to say that because when Coach Dillingham mentioned that, before I didn't interject, and I thought about it. I was looking back at the show, and I know I kind of mentioned with Javen, but I mean, Gio can be very effective back there. And again, he's a little banged up, but still getting him in. That's just another mismatch, especially if he comes out. You're not being guarded by a corner. A linebacker's picking you up. Again, not that they're crazy slow. Gio's a little bit faster than him. Just straight facts. Anyway, back to Coach Dillingham, but I just had to interject that.
About not giving Colorado any goals. Any message to the team about not giving Colorado any goals in material?
No, it's about us. It's always about us. This is the team. I mean, that we play. It's another game, and it's about us. Us being the best version of us. So we're gonna go compete to be better today. I thought today was arguably our best practice of the year. I really did. Our kids flew around today. Our guys flew around today with passion. So they're going to compete.
Another large crowd is expected for the game today or this weekend. How does it feel to see the stadium fill up more consistently this year?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's a competitive advantage to have the home crowd there. Getting the noise and causing chaos on third downs is a huge advantage. So having – hey, Coach. Hi. Who's your favorite DeAndre? Where's Clayton Smith? I'm just Sorry, BJ Green. All right. But no, so having the crowd there and being loud, our players feed off of it, and it's a competitive advantage. And I mean, it's fun for the Valley to rally behind a team. And so I think it's good for everybody.
Hey, Coach, what's in the challenge of play calling? Like you said, with the offensive line maybe being banged up, but having an explosive player, just getting to the line quick, a little bit of an advantage for the group in general?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we've got to create more misdirection in the run game. My career has been very driven on locating numbers, leverage advantages in the running game and gaining extra hats to get what I call plus runs, which means you have one more than they have. So even if somebody doesn't necessarily win dominantly, right, they still don't have a hat to tackle your back. So we're going to be a little bit different, maybe some more, more misdirection, some more eye candy stuff to try to, create some confusion instead of just plus one runs, just because those aren't even advantaged runs aren't, being productive for us. So doing the same thing for 6 weeks and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So even though it's not my comfort zone, we're going to do some things a little bit differently, and you need to get lined up faster to do some of that.
We're looking at some other training options today. That's a competition, or how would you characterize that?
Yeah, well, actually, we've had a somewhat minor injury to that position, so he actually can't punt, and he shouldn't have been punting. He's been battling through a foot issue, and we got it looked at. So he is out from punting. He's still going to hold right now, but he actually cannot punt. So that's probably the reason he, hasn't been performing like he had in the past, which is 47, 46-yard punt average when he was at his last institution. So it's him being tough and trying to battle through it. So we're going to get somebody else back there. And I thought they did a solid job. They ended on a really nice punt, getting them inside 5.
So what was it that finally he said something? Yeah, I'm hurt, or you guys?
Yeah, his foot's been hurting him a little bit, but he hasn't been dramatic about it. And then he was just, man, this is really bothering me. We got to look at, and we just got to get him back right. And he just doesn't feel right. So it's just basically, rest heals it. So we just got to rest it and get it right. Punting's a finicky thing. It's like if you have a problem on your throwing hand, right? Even if it's not a huge problem, it may cause everything to go off. So
you have Ian and you have Race options there. Is it just evaluating and seeing what you're going to do?
Yeah, So we're evaluating all week, and we'll see which guy we think gives us the best chance.
Where have you seen Tate grow the most to kind of be a steady presence for you?
He just gets better every week. He just gets more comfortable every week in the system. And I think that's the key is when you're new to a system and what we do defensively is complex. What we do offensively is complex. It's different every week within the system. So it takes time to learn it and grasp it and master it. So I think defensively, he's just slowly getting better and better and better.
So here, there, Coach Dillingham, punter-wise, he's talking about Josh Carlson, who will still hold, like you said, but it's just been bugging him, and that's I'm really going to overstate the obvious here, so don't fall out of your chairs while you're eating lunch. But a punter with a foot problem, not a good thing. Coach Regal spoke after practice too, and I was in between, and we'll see Trenton Bourget next. But Coach Regal talking about just the challenges of doing that. He goes, for Josh, he goes, it's just, trying to work through it. Again, getting treatment, trying to work through it. But, even Coach Dillingham saying, Coach Regal as well, the assistant head coach, special teams coordinator, was saying that it's one of those things where you can't where it's trying to punt through it is, one thing, but you're just not getting that distance and you start to struggle on punting and flipping field position, domino affecting all of it. Like, if you get to your minus 45, he said 40 to 45, and even say you're right at midfield, chances are, that's a fair catch because you're just hanging it up. And Coach Regal was talking about this, but you look what punters normally do. You're hanging it up high. Guys get down there. They don't have to run crazy that far, but you're fair catching it because there literally is nowhere to go. But yeah, for Carlson, at least he'll still be holding that's big, especially timing, for Slater Zellers, a long snapper, and Dario Longhetto. It's holding, especially, for a kicker, getting comfortable, getting it back, getting it there is one of those things. So yeah, I absolutely understand the pain. So yeah, there's a little bit of a battle, punting wise, and Coach Dillingham alluded to it, and Coach Regal, again, just hearing him talk didn't kind of got in towards the end there, so wasn't going to bring you like a 10-second interview. Would be pretty cool, but yeah, no 10-second interviews here. But yeah, also caught up with Trenton Bourget after practice. Like I said, Jaden Rashada was named the starter. Started those first 2 games, and then he got banged up and he's been out. And then Bourget and Drew Pine, Pine was injured, he came back, and they both, his coach is going 2 series, then go from there. But Bourget got banged up. Pine, Bourget got banged up. Pine came in for a little bit, then he got re-injured, and that's when Jacob Conover had to come in and play. So, yeah, but getting that first game under his belt, full game for Trenton Bourget, obviously very, very huge. So, he spoke to everybody after practice, and you'll hear me ask him about, the trick play and how that might affect defenses going forward. But yes, here is Trenton Bourget.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of attention to detail, just with the new game plan and everything like that. I think a lot of people, really, sat and looked themselves in the mirror to see what they could do better. And I thought there was a lot of tempo, a lot of energy today. A couple mistakes, but that's going to happen. And I think there's just a lot of good energy today.
Was there things that you did from the game to now that as a quarterback and an older, veteran guy that you think had an influence that, or were you trying to anyway?
Yeah, I think it's tough to always come back, from a loss. But, as soon as we, the game's over, making sure to, keep people's heads up. You see people, with their heads down. It's tough, to be in a close game like that. Obviously, you want to come out with the victory. But at the end of the day, it's on to the next. You can't keep your head down for too long. And we have a solid team coming in this weekend, and we got to be ready for it.
You had a great game against them last year, your first career start, I think.
Yep.
You think back to that at all? Or, I mean, I know both teams are a lot different.
Yeah, kind of not really. It's a whole different team there. It's a whole different team here. But it's just crazy how, fast time flies. It feels like it was just last week we were out there and, got the win there and just hoping to get another victory this weekend in Tempe.
How does having a guy like Gio in the backfield make your job easier?
Yeah, I think, putting Gio and putting other skill guys like Melquan, those two guys are just so shifty. And, to get them matched up with the linebacker is super tough. And it just makes defenses, really stress on, how they want their matchups to fit. And, we just have a lot of great athletes that we can put anywhere across the field and just trying to exploit those mismatches.
Speaking of mismatches, I mean, when you look at Colorado early on defensively, without giving away the game plan, what do you see that you think you guys can take advantage of?
Yeah, they play really hard, a lot of energy. They have a lot of new guys, so I think that's one thing that we can kind of key in on. But watching film on them, they're great up front. They have good, solid players in the linebacker position. And in the back end, that's kind of where they fly around. They're going to talk a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just really we got to focus on us and see what we can do.
Looking like it's going to probably be close to a sellout again. How excited are you guys to start seeing these crowds so big?
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously we want to put on a good show in front of our home state, but really for us, we can't really get too worried if there's a lot of people there. If there's nobody there, we got to bring our own juice. Last weekend there was barely anybody there, but we still got to come out and hopefully it's a good crowd and hopefully we can put on a good show and really come out with a victory.
Coach said that this was probably your best performance practice of the year, and it comes despite having kind of a tough game against Cal. What does it say about kind of the resiliency of this team?
Yeah, I think that this team has gone through a lot of adversity, whether it's coaches or injuries or, wins, losses. We're really, trying to, look forward to what we can do next and how we can be better and not get our head too low and just know that, anything's possible. So we're really just trying to be the best we can be.
How about your brother's honor that he got?
Yeah, that was awesome. Super exciting to see Trace have a great game. It's really been, just, tough for him to really, kind of get going, playing some tough, Iowa and just playing some really tough teams. But to see him do his thing was super exciting. And, now he's got Mississippi State this week. But, he's going to go out there and try to do his thing. And, but it's awesome to see him lead his team to victory.
That was kind of a full game on your part this year, obviously last year, but just kind of coming back from that injury earlier. Now that full experience, how do you feel going into this week? A little bit better.
Yeah, I feel a lot better. Finally getting a full game. It's kind of tough to play last season at the end of the year and miss the first couple of games this year, not miss, but just not play the first couple of games. So for that to be my first kind of game action, the first couple of drives, I kind of felt a little antsy. But as the game went on, I just felt more comfortable, and that kind of led to offense being able to do a better job.
How do you always maintain that always ready mindset?
Yeah, for me, it's just kind of the person I've always been. I've always been the guy. I'm always the guy that's always been on the field. So for me to be the backup, to be the guy that's not getting much playing time is different for me. Coming into college, but at the end of the day, I'm going to train like I'm the starter, and just got to always be ready, next man up.
Obviously, this game has a little bit of a hype with Dion coming in and whatnot. It seems like you guys know better than to give them bulletin board material.
Yeah.
Is that kind of just something that is it preached to you guys, or you guys just knew it better?
Yeah, I think, it's a little bit of both. I think each and every week, it doesn't matter who we play, they're kind of, faceless. We're going to watch their film, but it's not really, it's these guys or these guys. It's just, this is our opponent this week. We're going to play them Saturday, and come Saturday night, it's on to the next opponent.
It could be good, though, because obviously more eyes are going to be on your team, so maybe if you can come up with a good win, it kind of sends a message because you're going to have a larger audience, do you think?
Most definitely. I think, we know this team coming in has a lot of, eyes on them, but I think it'll be good for the Pac-12 football.
Speaking of eyes, obviously defense has to account for things. So now that you're on tape making a great catch from Cam, you think that's going to pause that linebacker a little bit more every time you make a pitch?
Yeah, we'll see. Bryce, was watching, my highlights the other day, and he saw my high school highlights catching the ball. So, we'll see what we have in the game plan.
You mentioned the juice this week, the importance of that, and how you had that last week as well on the road with the smaller crowd at Cal. And talked about Colorado having a lot of juice, obviously a ton of eyes on them. So switching it back on to you guys, what's been the focus of bringing that physicality and that juice this week in practice?
Yeah, really just looking in the mirror and making sure, everybody wanted to talk about, what we can do this year. And obviously it's not the season we've wanted so far, but, we can control what we can control, and just making sure that, if you're hurt, you're still going to be out here, you're going to be cheering, being loud, because, that energy is contagious. And, if you have a positive energy, that's just going to bring the best out of everybody.
Mike was muted. So anyway, that was Trenton Bourget after practice today. Talking about obviously, the crowd, Colorado coming in, but and like Coach Dillingham said, focus in on their team. It's about them. That's why after I paused, you heard me ask about, getting up there quicker or, playing tempo, does that help the offensive line when you're a little banged up? And again, guys have been stepping up and playing well, but banged up, getting the line quicker. A, the defense can't sub, as we all know. B, I in my head, I was, as I was asked, that's why I asked it that way is, help the offensive line out. And, he went in, and again, if you saw him, even at, Oregon, obviously last year at Oregon, but, with Bo Nix and like what they were able to do and creating mismatches, like he's saying, and having, that extra hat over there. And, but having to do it a little different, like you said, but my theory behind it helping the offensive line. Okay. So yes, you're running the ball. You're not putting them on skates to where, not that they can't pass block. I'm just saying, just kind of, pushing, getting the guy out of the way, blocking and road grading as linemen like to do. Oh, side note real quick. It was Coach Saga. It was back out at practice today. It was great to see him out there. Coach Dillingham mentioned it last week. He says, he said he was feeling fine. He said, until you have a doctor's note that said you can be out here coaching, then you stay home. We got you, obviously, because like Coach Dillingham so perfectly said, obviously life's the most important thing. But yeah, he looked good. He was out there at practice today, again, working back with the O-line, getting them going, helping guys from the scout team up. I noticed that too. So awesome to have Coach Saga back there. Definitely want to mention that while talking about the O-line. But yeah, and for Trent, I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, you got to make reads quick, but getting the ball out of your hands quick. People say, well, that kind of helps the defense. They can react. They can come up. Yeah, but if they start cheating, all it takes is one set of dirty eyes. One set of dirty eyes and somebody cheating too much, right? Because if they do, then that's the issue. That becomes an issue for the defense, a great benefit for the offense. So, again, he's, has to tweak things a little bit. Trenton did look good in practice today. Yes, it is practice, first day of, putting the install, in motion on the field for the team. But again, on the road last week at Cal, back home, a 3:30 kickoff, by the way, Sun Devil Nation. But yeah, like Coach Dillingham said, when somebody asked me, I'm giving Colorado, bulletin board material. He answers the same, and I can understand the fairness in asking your question, but you literally it's about his team. He's saying it's about what we do. I mean, Trent said it right there too, and he goes, and I like that. It's just, yes, you understand who they are, who you have to account for, what they've done, but it's just another, another team coming in here, and that's what it's not even about selling it to your team or, coach speak. It's true. Anyone that's ever played sports, if a coach is focusing more, head coach, any coach is focusing more on, what the other team has or saying this, saying that, then your team could, obviously, not accept that, get frustrated, go the wrong way. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to game day, it's like, well, what do but you need to enforce. Yes, you need to be able to adjust, but you need to be able to enforce your will, your tempo, your pace, everything, and on both sides of the ball. And that's why it's about my team. So with as crazy busy as they are, game planning, all that stuff, it's, and Trent said it right. It's another team. It's, it's not a disrespect thing, but every team looks at it like it's a nameless, faceless, jersey. And I just have to know my reads. I have to know my responsibility, quarterback, line, running backs, receivers, everybody offensively and defensively, same thing. Like it's a lot can be said at Baltimore. I just think if players, and Baltimore materials are like, oh, this team's absolutely terrible. They don't belong in the fit. Like, no, nobody's saying anything that ridiculous. Now, if they believe that, they might believe that, and they might say it behind closed doors, but not in front of cameras. But if they did say it in a camera, like, yes, people will be like, wow, okay, well, there's honest truth. Probably not a good idea. But, like, if you're getting – and I can see how it'll fire you up. If you need it to fire you up is what I'm trying to say, then, yeah, there's a little tick missing there. But if you need it to fire you up, then that's and coaches always have good tricks. Coaches always have the best coaches, I will say, have good little things like you're like, are you serious? But yeah, to get you fired, maybe like right before the game, not all week during practice, because it wouldn't have the same effect. But that being said, hey, Colorado's in here this week. Yes, we know Shedeur Sanders, has been mentioned in that Heisman, the quarterback only Heisman race. And rightfully so with what he's done, Coach Dillingham. And I'll actually play that Thursday about what he said about him in his post-game presser, but I'm going to save that till Friday. What am I saying Thursday? I'm going to save that till Friday. See, that's a tease in the industry, kids. No, all kidding aside, but no, I'll say that till Friday because he had good things to say about Shedeur in his Monday presser. And yeah, we'll probably hear some on Thursday too, but Shedeur part on a Friday. So but I'm going to take a quick break and then we're going to shift gears and we are going to talk about Coach Bowman. Yes, the Sun Devils swim coach who is inducted into the Swimming Hall of Fame. So we will step aside and you can take a few more bites of your lunch. Don't go too far. We'll be back talking swimming and we'll talk a little hockey too. And we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on Twitter. Hit me up. Questions, comments, thoughts, all that good stuff. Little banter. You're a fan of another Pac-12 team. Yes, even that team down south, but I don't have to call them by their name here because this is Pitchfork Lunch. And yes, I will be cheesy one time. We'll put a fork in them. That being said, a little banter, all that fun stuff. You can see the show live here, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005, at MVC005 on YouTube. Subscribe. The videos are there. Talking, again, everything football, daily interviews. And we'll have players and coaches on. Volleyball, obviously, we've had quite a few players on. We'll have more. Hockey getting going, swimming, like I said, again, a lot out there. Golf, men's and women's golf, tennis, all that good stuff. Lacrosse, soccer. Hey, I will bring it to you. This show is again just starting and growing, but I am again going to be out and about doing it too. So that is the next step in the process. But nonetheless, you'll be able to find it. You can watch it. KSRN, playing phone tag, but KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network, Casual Sports with a Z. You can go to www.kazualsportz.com. Download the app. This will be coming there. Pitchfork Lunch will be there again. So if you're driving around, yes, I want you to watch. Don't need to watch a video while you're driving. Please do not watch videos while you're driving. If you're at a red light, okay, but while driving, no. But it'll be on KSRN. You'll be able to hear it, and you can download the app, and then boom, just listen everywhere you go. You'll hear everything. So I mean, you won't see, our pretty Sun Devil faces, but hey, safety is the most important thing. So yeah, before the break, I did mention that Coach Bowman, in the beginning of the show, at the end of the show yesterday, beginning of the show today, but he was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame on this past Saturday night in Fort Lauderdale. He's in his 9th year, not 6th year. So I said 5th, 6th year, 9th year. Man, it's flown by. As head coach of the Sun Devil swim and dive teams. He was one of 13 inductees, and joining him in being inducted to the International Swimming Hall of Fame was Michael Phelps. Yes, the most decorated Olympian of all time, who, yes, like I mentioned, Bowman was the longtime coach of. I mean, just last season alone, and I mentioned it a few weeks ago, I didn't bury the full lead, but they won the Pac-12 championship last year. ASU did on the men's side. That was their first Pac-12 championship in program history, along with being runner-ups at the NCAAs. So Pac-12 champs, second at the NCAAs, and the Sun Devil men earned the #1 ranking in the country for the first time in program history to end the 2022-2023 season. So the Sun Devil women won 3 of their final 4 regular season meets and placed 5th at Pac-12s. Again, solid performance. And then Bowman, before the school year started, he served as the men's head coach for Team USA when they competed in Fukuoka, Japan at the 2023 World Aquatic Championships. And he was additionally had the honor of being named the Sun Devil head coach of the year at all the coaches vote on year of Frank Cush. So he was a Frank Cush coach of the year back in June. So, I mean, and Bowman also was the U.S. men's head coach at the 2007, 2009, and 2013 FINA World Championships. He also served on the U.S. staff for the previous 5 Olympic Games, 2004, 8, 12, 16, and 20, in which he was the head coach in Rio. So, I mean, those are just the bullet points, right? But of this man's career. But I mean, just to have, and like I said, I've had the privilege of getting to talk to him a little bit, whether it's, media available, just in listening to him talk, but just talk to him a little bit on the side. And yeah, I, again, will look forward to getting to talk to him, but well-deserved induction into the International Swimming Hall of Fame. And yeah, I mean, 9 seasons at ASU, but the first ever Pac-12 championship on the men's side in program history. So look, they have nowhere to go but up. Leon Marchand is one of the top swimmers in the country, well, in the world for that matter, because yes, he will be representing his home country of France in the Olympics in France next year. So next summer. So that is just, I mean, that's absolutely awesome. Again, great honor. Represent your team. I talked about it with Gabby Rennie of the soccer team, from New Zealand, and New Zealand, Australia, co-host of the Women's World Cup this last year. And man, she got to represent her country and play on that team. So, I mean, yeah, but to go to the Olympics again, represent your country, and he will have a lot of eyes on him. And I'm sure Coach Bowman will obviously be over there next year as well. But we'll talk to him. We'll see his plans go from there. But yeah, no, it is so cool. And like I said, talking to Coach Bowman is, the fun part of swimming. Yes, I will try not to ask him when I have him on, although I probably will at the end, being like, why can't there be like, in diving, but the high springboard, like cannonball competition? Because, for those of us that aren't that talented, it's not putting a mockery on it. I mean, but I don't know. I probably won't, because he's in the Hall of Fame, and he'll probably want to make me swim, extra laps for saying something like that, which, I mean, I could do, not fast, but it'd be a little tough. So, but no, it is such a phenomenal honor. It's so awesome that he is part of, well, I mean, here in, Sun Devil Nation, but it's so awesome that he is, had that accomplishments in the Hall of Fame, but just a part of Sun Devil Sports, taking over, like I said, both the men's and women's teams. So yeah, I mean, Pac-12 champs on the men's side, 5th on the women's side, and again, the women looking to climb the ladder this year. The men looking to defend that title, and they have the team. But we'll get more into it. And he said, as the season goes on, because when you look at their schedule so far, they're 2-0. On the men's side, but you look and they beat Georgia back on September 22nd, September 22nd and 23rd. They beat Georgia on the 22nd, 89.5 to 49.5, and then the 23rd was 183 to 117. So they cleaned house there. Now this Friday, October 6th, at 2 p.m. at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center, they will be taking on UNLV. So it's at 2 p.m. So if you can get on out to that, I definitely suggest you go there and then go inside Desert Financial and check the women out in volleyball as they take on USC Friday night. So again, you have many options, but yes, for swimming on the men's side, that is, and I want to say the women will probably be taking on UNLV as well too on the 6th. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. October 6th, Friday. So yeah, men and women. Wait, hold on. Let's actually go to the women's and see that. That was my bad. Yeah, so same thing. The women, again, lost to Georgia Friday the 22nd. It was 87-48 and then 184-111 on the women's side. But yeah, it'll be men's and women's at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center Friday, 2 p.m. So again, if you're available, you should go check it out, support this team, and again, go see a Hall of Fame coach and how his team is stepping up. Because again, last year, like I said, men won, and going out last year at the Pac-12, I'm sure they would love to go back-to-back conference champs on the men's side and the women, trying to see if they can improve from that 5th place finish to win it too. Again, got to, it's a very, very accomplishable step to, it's a step they could take and accomplish on the women's side. So we'll see. But yeah, it's, again, Hall of Fame coach, get out there, congratulate him. Again, he'll probably, a lot of times coaches don't want to hear it, but when you've been coaching, you've had that much success, hey, it's definitely earned. So support the team, get on out to Mona Plummer Aquatic, and we will go from there. But that's going to do it for me. Going to get out of here again. So glad you could join here on a Pitchfork Lunch again. Goes out live on the Twitter, which it's saved up there. Also, again, Facebook, but YouTube at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 on YouTube at MVC005 YouTube. Subscribe. All the shows are up there. You can go back and watch anyone you want. Again, like I said, interview with JJ Van Neal, the interview. Well, did it twice, cut out once, but Tim Healy, the voice of the Sun Devils, and obviously the volleyball players. I mean, you talked to Roberta Habello and Mary Schroll, two players we've had on. Again, looking to have more. It's all up there, so go check it out and subscribe. So I will see you tomorrow. Again, same bat time, same bat channel as we get out of here. And yeah, big games coming up this weekend. This weekend. So yeah, I mean, Thursday night, like I said, starting with soccer. UW's here. They haven't won a game in the Pac-12. Fans, let's get loud. Let's support this team, and let's get a win against UW on Thursday night. But I will see you tomorrow. Like I said, same bat time, same bat channel. And yes, fans, as always, as you know, forks up.
Carries three. Johnny Walker. Mashing up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Recent drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And buries the puck.
Daniels takes the shot for